One. What's happening, everybody? We're back again, episode 3. And it's kind of a momental, or I would say like a kind of a special episode because it's our first time in the What's Happening history. We have a guest introducing Michael I'm sorry. Jordan Michael Brown.
You got it. Good job. Nailed it.
This guy, he's a solid dude. He's one of our coworkers who we just recently were, blessed to have join our team. He's been a great fit, a great guy, and he loves to talk sports with us. So he said, "Hey, NFL drafts tomorrow, so let's have him on here. Let him, talk with us about it." And why don't we jump right into it? With Hayden's got a little something to get this whole show started with.
Well, of course, we had UFC 261 and on Saturday, and we got to witness the baptism of Jorge Masvidal by Kamaru Usman. So I figured since we don't have the rights to the fight, I'll just do a little replay of what I have here. Is I don't know if you saw it, but Jorge's soul came right out of him. There's still pictures. It came right out of him. Usman took his soul. And what I have here is some of that soul. And so I'm going to go ahead, baptize myself for the blessing of Kamaru Usman and our 80-unit play cashing this weekend. And I'd like to thank all those who followed. We had a nice 19.5 unit plus weekend. Real good. We're back in the positive, looking well. I got water everywhere now. And
Didn't go as planned. It
was good, but the picks went as planned, and that's all that matters. That we did real well. I hope everybody, like I said, took Usman. I didn't see again the value in Masvidal, Jorge. And it played out. It played out exactly. How we had the live bet the under 4. I think it was 4.5 real quick, and that was plus 260 cash out too. So.
Nice. If you want those live bets, make sure you follow at King of Don Picks for live coverage of all the fights. Because sometimes fights get canceled, and this guy will repost a bet to cover that bet that wasn't going to happen. So you got to follow to make sure you get in that pocket.
That is a fact. I appreciate that. At King of Don Picks is the Twitter handle. Notifications on. You can go in, turn your notifications on. I don't post a bunch like some of these cappers. I don't. I'm not calling myself a capper, but if you follow them, they like to cry a lot when they're losing or winning. I don't do that. I post the picks. I post schedules. I put everything out there. Just if you just want general fight info, that's the Twitter handle to follow there.
What's crazy about the 261 was Chris Weidman, because he was a part of, or he's only 3 times in the UFC this has happened. He's been part of 2 of them. One of which he did check the Anderson Silva's kick, snapped that guy's shin in half, and then he just got his shin snapped in half. And I don't know if you guys seen the X-rays, but that is some gnarly stuff.
The X-ray looked like a clean break. I heard good things from his one of his trainers, not personally on a podcast, but he said, and just from what I know, that it was a clean break, and he could be back. Probably not, obviously not this year, but maybe late next year. It's Chris Weidman, man, tough guy. He wouldn't want to go out like that, so we might see him a couple more times. Anderson Silva came back. He didn't look the same, but he's older too. Chris Weidman's older. Of course, we'll find. I don't think it affects. Guy, I shouldn't say that, because look at Aldo when he messed up his leg. It really does kind of affect guys. Anderson was never the same, but I think a lot of that's age.
Yeah, mentally, all mentally.
Yeah, it's mental. I think 90% of all fights are mental.
Because I don't think you can have an injury like that and never throw that kick the same without in the back of your head. You're like, is my leg about to snap again?
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I messed up my Achilles and I still played soccer. Like, I think it just takes a little bit to get over. Like, I think after one fight, I'm sure Anderson was fine. I think it just takes, because Aldo kind of has gotten back into his leg kicks and stuff. But the one fight against Holloway, he threw freaking, I think, none or maybe 2. So, and from personal experience with my own ankle, it wasn't as obviously severe, but I did, tear my Achilles. So you you always question it, but in the back of your head, but I don't think it affects it too much. But
I mean, I hope
we'll
he
see.
comes back.
He'll be back. I think he'll be back for sure.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy card, dude. I mean, we could probably spend 2 hours breaking down. Did you just watch it? I know, Brayden, I don't think you did, right? You had some obligation.
I was at a event, but I saw the highlights to it, and that Rose kick, and like, I don't know, Jordan, did you see the beginning of that fight? Like when they were like Bruce Buffer was announcing them?
No, I didn't.
So Rose
think I
is
caught it
literally
right after.
standing in front of Zway Lee, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But she's literally looking at her and saying, I am the best. I am the best, like 20 times, just staring her dead in the eye, saying, I am the best. She goes in there, first round, kicks her right in the dome, drops her ass, and wins the championship for the second time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, following through, that's for sure.
Now, if she didn't win, she would have been clowning on like Jorge Masvidal was when he was saying all week long that Usman has no power and he's the softest guy he's ever fought.
Yeah, and then you see his face snapping back behind him.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Masvidal was kind of like my guy more than Usman, but I'm not mad about what happened. As a fan, I'm like excited about what happened because it kind of opens a couple of doors for Usman. I don't know what Masvidal does from here. I don't know who he fights.
I think Usman's he's going to be an exciting fighter. And you tend to see this in sports where you just see the next up and coming. And UFC seems like it happens more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I saw a video of Masvidal getting caught from like ringside, like on a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that was gnarly, bro.
That was the first time he's ever been knocked out.
Yeah.
Second time, Joe Rogan and Anik don't know what they're talking about. I've made myself clear on this 100 times. I think Joe Rogan should stop announcing. He's not good at it anymore.
Comedy.
He was knocked out way back in the day, like his 4th or 5th fight. He was TKO'd. He wasn't clean clock like that. He was TKO'd, but
in the UFC or in another organization?
No, I think it was Strikeforce. Yeah, it was a different organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I recall what I said. In the UFC, he's never been knocked out before that.
Correct. But he's had
even though you said TKO, so that was a true sleeper.
You never saw that happen to him. He was TKO'd in that one.
Dude.
He got knocked out twice.
He got
knocked out, landed, kind of woke up a little bit, tried to get up, and Usman just hammer fist him that back down.
Yeah, and that was it. I guess Jorge was kind of questioning. Dude, I felt bad for Zhang Wei Li. That interview, dude, the crowd was already booing her.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It's so stupid. I don't get it.
She insists she was still in that fight, which she wasn't. But dude, I've got, when you get knocked out, dude, you just don't know what the fuck is going on. Like
it's like when those fighters go and tackle the ref because they think that's the fighter, and they're completely out.
You just got knocked out. Like, come on, think about it. Like, if someone doesn't even know, you're in an arena with freaking 15,000 people and you got knocked out. We all watched it. If you if you think you're still in the fight, why would you interview that person? I was there when they did it with DC, and I was so happy. I hit a huge Jones, Tyrone Woodley parlay, but I always loved DC, and to watch him do that interview, dude, was so hard. Like, why would you do that to someone? I mean, there's always a post-fight interview that the fighters can do. If it's a clean knockout, if someone gets KO'd or TKO'd, or I was surprised they didn't walk up to Weidman on the stretcher and be like, Weidman, how do you feel? When are you coming back? Like, it's just like, come on. I mean, boxing does it, but boxing, it's they don't always do it when a guy gets knocked out. Like, boxing does it right.
Because I don't know if it's hypocritical of Joe Rogan, just because he'll always say, I don't like interviewing fighters just got knocked out, but then you see him 5 seconds later interviewing the guy. So I don't know if that's him being forced by the producing company to go and talk to him.
Dana.
I think it is. I think that Dana would do that. Yeah, any promoter would. Those guys are all promoters are sleeve balls, because that just gives more publicity when you have anything that makes it. That's why Jake Paul was there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the more they hate you, the more they see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The dirtier you are, and I mean, you just think about it. You watch some movies about sports, and they just, dude, they overemphasize the injuries and all that. But it makes it exciting for people. That's the same reason they like, gladiators and fighting. They like to see things happen like that and have issues. And I mean, Nate Diaz alone, dude, come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There you go. They love that. The drama, anything that gets views that's all they care about, man. That's all they care about.
It's funny because
Joe Rogan's probably
Pops about that. And I was saying
Yeah,
that in any other sport, if you talk too much, you get less money. Case in point, Antonio Brown went from a huge millionaire to he just got to deal with the Bucks for $3 million. But if you're a fighter and all you do is talk, you're gonna get paid a lot more.
Oh yeah, look at Connor, dude.
Well, but you gotta back it up because I hate Colby Covington, and I put an emphasis on the word hate. But people say all he does is talk. That guy can fight. That guy has excellent skills. He has decent hands. He's a good fighter. His whole facade, it's all fake. It's all for show. He's a cornball outside of that. But you have to be able to fight. Yeah, like Connor. You got to be able to knock guys out, and then you can talk, So, it comes with that. And then if you go to the NFL or other sports, they don't want you to talk because it's
you're representing organization.
You're representing an organization and stuff like that. I mean, look at the whole, anytime they try to get anything political in there, the owners don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want anything but people to view it. And they don't care how many concussions those guys get. They don't know how short their careers are. They don't care what happens to them. They just care that they make money. So shut up and play. It's shut up and dribble. That's all they want.
I mean, it's hard to kind of compare the two though, because you look at UFC or any kind of fighting and it's one person representing themselves and taking the aspect of how I'm going to make the most money for myself. When you take it into an ownership, of a vast organization like an NFL team or NBA team, it's about trying to attract more people because they're the ones that's going to pay you, not the organization as like the UFC. Yes. If that makes sense.
No, it does. You hit it right on the nail on the head. I just think, I think the NFL gets it wrong. These owners are so out of touch that they wouldn't allow their players to have like anything on their cleats. Like that. Out of touch
people don't care about end zone celebrations. They don't care. You know what I mean? Like you can do whatever you want. I think it's funny.
Owners think like end zone celebrations. Oh my god! Like it goes into a face thing. I think, and
if I was an owner, sad. As long as those cleats are ending up in the end zone, getting me 6 points, I don't care what's on those cleats.
Well, now they don't, but they used to care. Is what I'm saying.
Even like baseball, you couldn't do custom cleats. They would. Trevor Bauer wanted to do custom cleats. They made him take them off, or they said if you don't take them off, you're not gonna be able to pitch tonight. Like,
and you're a Yankee, you have to have clean shave, like no
I don't
long
like that.
hair.
I think they gotta get rid of it. It's so dumb.
That is unbelievable in 2021 that you have to cut your hair.
Let's look at Andrew McCutcheon. We made that guy cut his hair and shave it. We traded him the next year.
Yeah, like for like what. I didn't even know that it exists. I mean, obviously you as a Yankees fans do. I mean, I'm not a big baseball guy, but I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, it just seems so unnecessary.
Yeah.
But
you can have facial hair. You just have to have a mustache. You got to clean it up.
Yeah, military style.
It's just very strange. We're talking about baseball, not the military.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, if you can fight, if you can do what you do, what we pay you to do, I don't care. I don't care what cleats, obviously in the military, you don't want guys running around in rainbow cleats, but you get my point. Like, it's just.
They need that camo stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Right? The service.
It's just, sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
You want to go over your PFL real quick?
It's crazy. Yeah, we can, I released the PFL card on the old Twitter at King of Don Picks. We got a couple plays I like here. Starting with a now plus 185 underdog in Sadu C, 6'3" lanky guy, calls himself the Swedish Denzel Washington. I don't see it.
He said he looks like Denzel Washington.
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because like on all the sites they show their nicknames or what they got is their name, and it's not even on there. But it was mentioned in one of the fights he was in some of the fights, so I had to throw that in there. But I like him here. He was plus 300. I wish I would have got the line out there a lot sooner. You still get him at plus money. I like it for 1 unit. It's going to go 2, but we'll keep it at 1 because he is fighting a tough guy, Nikolai Alexkin. He's Russian, so you'd think he's a wrestler, but he's a striker. This guy likes to bang, but he can't be tagged. So I think C tags him at some point. I know Alexkin knocked out Jesse Rosen with a knee last fight. You might look at him, he looks good, he looks solid in his last fight, but you're not going to catch a 6'3" Saeed with a knee. You know, Nikolai's only 5'9". I don't like to take height and reach too much into consideration, but with C's knockout power, I think he can get it done here. And I really like that play. Again, get it while it's still there. It's going down. Plus 185 for that. And a little side note, Nikolai did lose to the funky Ben Askren, who lost to Jake Paul. So as we know, if you're a Jake Paul hater,
and if you got Logan Paul logic, because Jake Paul knocked out Ben Askren, he hits harder than Robbie Lawler.
Right?
Think about
if you guys
that
are catching, because Nikolai Alexkin, there's a reason he came in as a minus 400 favorite in this fight. I mean, he is good. He gave Askren some trouble, but you can see how good Askren actually was in the that was one championship when he fought him. How good he actually was, and as an MMA fighter, you can see that fight. I got one more that I'm going to break down here. You got Nick Rorik against Cesar Ferreri. Rorik, he opened at plus 190, went all the way down to plus 125. Back up, I just got him at 155 for 1 unit. I like this fight. He's fought at heavyweight earlier in his career, most of his career really, and moving down to 205. He's going to have, I think, a slight size advantage. I mean, Cesar Ferreri is a big 185. So I think he can give him troubles with just the size. I don't think Caesar's going to be able to get him down. And I think based on looking at Nick's fights, he did well against Derek Kinnear. I know he got knocked out in the 3rd round, but he ate lots of punches. He can eat punches. He has really good cardio, especially coming at that 205 weight. Again, good output, and I think he gets it done here against Ferreira, if I'm saying that right, Brazilian name. I do apologize if I'm wrong. But those are those. You can find the rest of the picks on at King of Don Picks. If you have any questions, want more breakdowns, I can give them to you. Yeah, that wraps up PFL. So let's get to
all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeez.
Time to get down to the bread and butter. So Jordan, who is your team that you're repping?
Oh, baby.
The ATL.
Okay.
The ATL.
And a quick thing, I'll ask all of us this. What made you become an Atlanta Falcons fan?
Mike Vick, man.
Michael Vick.
Yep.
Man, the myth, the legend.
Yep. He played for you too. That's probably why you became a fan too, I bet.
That was it, exactly. It's ironic because I became a Steelers fan like right after they got rid of him, or he retired. I can't remember which one, but awkwardly enough, most people, well, a lot of people back home know this, but I was a St. Louis Rams fan until the owner decided to betray the organization. So, and I'll try to do it to Arsenal actually. Yep. Stan Kroenke is a POS. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Asshole owner. That's the proof. He is a great example of how an owner can be the complete opposite of the Rooneys. The Rooneys do it right. That guy is just a money grubbing whore. I don't pardon my language at all, dude. Piece of shit. But anyways, Braden, you want to go? How do you become a Colts fan?
I became a Colts fan just because my parents were big Peyton Manning fans out of college. So then when I was born, they kind of just slapped a Peyton Manning jersey on me, and that was kind of how I became a Colts fan. Even after he unfortunately wasn't with us anymore, I kind of stuck with it. Became a Luck fan because I love the whole team. I love Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harris, Stokely. I love Clark. I love a lot of those players. So I became a big Colts fan. So that's the team I'm repping. I got the Peyton Manning jersey on now. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Did you even have enough time to get the Rivers jersey?
No, never did. Because we order off that jersey thing that Paul did. You got some too, but the whole kind of put a stop to that one.
Wait, by the way, they didn't put a stop. If you guys want to, I got
We
I
don't
got
know
it.
anything.
All right, I might
Got
have to get a
us.
Carson Wentz now. So hey, might have to link up.
That's your boy.
All right, Hayden, you want to lead it off with the prop bets you want to talk about? Whatever
I
you want to
figured-
start off with.
Do you want to lead that out, or do you guys want to bang it out? I was just going to kick back on this one. I used to follow the draft when I was a kid. I used to follow the draft a big time when I was a St. Louis Rams fan because that's all we had to look
Yeah, you
forward
only had
to.
top picks.
That was it. So that's all we had to look forward to. So now, as a Steelers fan, I just kind of wait for it, watch it, enjoy it a little more instead of stress about who they're going to fuck up the pick on this time. Because I trust the Steelers. They pick the right people, but I would like to hear what you guys think. Who are the top guys maybe going into this?
I'm gonna have
What
a
are the
hot
teams
take.
doing?
I'll do a hot
Falcons
take
or
right now. Hot take.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit us with it.
I think it's a waste of a first round pick to pick a quarterback, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Because first of all, a couple reasons. One, I told you guys this, but I'll say it right now. It's a lot of responsibility to be a quarterback. They put a lot of pressure on you. It's you either win games or lose games. I know defense wins championships, but a lot of pressure goes on that quarterback. And it's a young guy coming out of college. Who knows if he can handle that pressure? Because there's a big difference between college football and NFL football. Because now you're getting paid. And if you're not performing well, you're either going to get cut or something, it's going to happen. You're not going to get benched. They're going to get rid of you. So there's a lot of pressure. Plus, a lot of those guys on your team probably won't take you seriously because you're a young kid and you're trying to tell them what to do. They're going to be like, who's this guy? I've been here 10 years. So, I'd rather use that pick for like a wide receiver, defense lineman, those kind of guys. Because, those guys, how many times do those guys come in and flop?
Yeah.
How many,
the way I look at it, I think you nailed it on that. Everybody knows Tom Brady's history, right? Who cares? I hate the guy, but
we know why.
Look at the Jets picked up Sam Darnold, right? How many first round quarterbacks have been moved on from, right?
Bunch.
So if you're going in to go replace an aging quarterback, why don't you go out and say, hey, you guys are getting rid of this guy like Sam Darnold, who really is a good athlete. He just doesn't have a team around him, and the whole organization is just shambles. But there's definitely tread on the tires. You could trade a third, a second, whatever you're going to get for him. And he's now got a little bit of NFL experience. He's not the kid coming out of college. So I think you nailed that. Also, when you're drafting a first round player, their pay is based off their position. So if, a lot of teams now, especially going through COVID, how the cap has decreased, what was it, 23 million, 24 million? That's just something you got to take into consideration because a lot of teams are already in cap situations to where they can't afford to pay that 16 million on a first round quarterback compared to, like, let's say 6 million on a first round wide receiver. You have different ways you can plug and play, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. I like what Steelers did that when they got Haskins. I think that was a good pickup by us. It's you're getting value too. You're getting you don't have to give up a lot, and the guy doesn't have expectations on him. So whether it works out or not, you just cut him, and then you don't got to deal with it. It's not a big cap hit either.
Well, and like you said, is the bad organizations are always picking first. You know what I mean? And bad organizations usually take a long time to recover. Look at the Browns, right? They finally got to the playoffs again. But they always want to say, hey, you know what? Let's get rid of this person before the coach or any of that. And you move on like that. And then you got prime pickings out there for another team.
I don't know the statistics on this, but how many, you always hear about the quarterback flopping. Like he gets put in the high pressure situation, falters, big storyline. Like how many of the people that were not quarterbacks picked in the first round, like top 5 picks, flopped that weren't quarterbacks? I guarantee it's a low percentage.
Well, and they're also older quarterbacks. I think 3 out of 5 of them are, Peyton Manning's era, and before players nowadays,
And you have such a big talent pool to pick from. Why not pick a guy that's been there for 5 years, knows the system, knows how to act around people? Teammates are going to respect him a little bit more because he's been around, the time or two. So why not pick off that talent pool? There's plenty of them. Teddy Bridgewater just went to Broncos. He's been in the league 4 different teams now.
Yeah,
I had to look. I had to look this up. I don't know if you guys know this. I remember seeing this. I believe it was on ESPN or something like that. That more than 50% of the first round picks are busts.
Oh,
So
for sure.
like,
And
it's
Falcons have gotten like 8 of them.
yeah, like it's a crapshoot. Like you're just throwing in the cards on. Look at Jamarcus Russell, dude. I mean, you can look at a guy that looks so good and then they just fall apart. I mean, it could be self-destructive. It could be an injury. It could, you would say, it's just there's so many factors, and you only have 2-3 years. These guys go to college and play against non-pros, and
Or
look
divisions
how much
are far weighted. You know what I mean?
look how much they laid into
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. What was his name? He was a freaking GM for 12 years. What was that old guy's name? Who ripped Lamar Jackson can't throw, can't do this. Polian or whatever his name was.
Uh-huh.
And he got ripped for that. But he just said all that stuff about Lamar Jackson. It's like, dude, he's good. Like you never know in the draft, really. You gotta wait 2-3 years to see if it even works out.
Yeah.
I just never stood like these low ball, like these low teams that are high on the draft. Why do they get so excited for picking one person? Because that one person ain't going to save your organization. Like you're still going to be terrible the following year because he's going to get the same team that was terrible the year prior. What is he changing? Coaching staff's the same. So you're running the same plays, the same players. You think a quarterback coming in there is going to throw to a 1-star wide receiver and all of a sudden y'all win championships?
Example, Sam Darnold.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He was a stud out of college. Went to the Jets. He's now the mono kid.
Like he was dying every weekend, dude, getting just laid out. And then
Exactly.
if he did break off a 40
The whole premise of
you're
you're throwing at you're expecting, a prayer to be
Sam
answered
Bradford,
by this guy coming out of
David
college.
Carr.
Makes no sense.
You get David Carr syndrome. Look at David Carr. That guy was so good, but he just got hit so many times, dude, that he didn't even stay in the pocket anymore. He lay down.
Yep.
Sam Bradford did in his career. And what do you expect? Like these guys sit on their couches and eat potato chips and sit. It's like, why does he do that? Try getting hit by a 300-pound.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Look at Andrew Luck, dude. The dude was a boss, and he retired because he understood the beating he's taking. You know what I mean? And you just can't take that so long.
He didn't need football.
No.
He had a degree. He's rich. He's like, why am I doing this? This is stupid.
He looks like a caveman, but he's like smart as hell. Like the Stanford.
I know. The dude's a freaking
It's
genius.
unbelievable.
I mean, he kind of like, he did what most players can't do. He sacked him. He's like, guys, this isn't fun anymore. I'm getting laid out every other play. I'm out.
And he's got a good team too. He was on a bad team. I mean, that team had so much potential, and he made the best choice for him. And you can't knock him for that.
Well, I think that really goes back to the first round pick too. How many years have the Colts been in the top 10, right? And they still can't piece it all back together. You know what I mean?
It's tough. It's tough. You got to get the right guys later in the draft. And you gotta, some teams are unbelievable. They'll go out and sign a bunch of guys, overpay them. And it's like, what are you doing? You got to let it build through the draft, pick the right guys, and that's why the Steelers have 6 Super Bowls, because they made the right draft picks, because those guys are under rookie contracts. That's where you can get a good second, third round QB that isn't getting paid, and then you can pay other guys. Like Russell Wilson's a prime example of that, where you can get the right guys, but you got to draft the right
Russell
guys.
Wilson needs an O-line.
Yeah. Well, now, before they were good, that when they won the Super Bowl.
But as much as we hate them, the Patriots, dude, what have they always done? They hire the Walmart grocery bagger and turn him into a superstar and pay him nickels, and then say, hey, you know what? You're going to come here and win a championship, and you're going to get paid at the next organization. You know what I mean? So they've always done that. So I really think it comes down, an organization needs to have like really good people doing homework in their scouting department. You need to watch the guys that are coming in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds that aren't going to cost you a lot of money. And it's you realize one first round pick, how many 3rd, 4th round picks you can get as a trade? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're saving money.
Trades are like a new thing. You go back 10 years ago, maybe even just 5 years ago, dude, and you would never see any trades. You'd see maybe like 2 or 3 in like the 6th, 7th round.
Yeah.
To get like a guy who really did like. Now you got him. Well, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago where they didn't make any trades. It was like a weird year where they didn't trade anybody. But most recently, for most of these drafts, they're wheeling and dealing a bunch of random picks and quarterbacks we never, or personally, I never, a casual draft follower, I never even heard of, like this Mac Jones talk. I don't even know who that guy is. I mean, I know he played for Alabama, but like, where did he came out of nowhere? Like, what's going on? And then they don't want him. It's like, I know a lot of it is just, they've always done the trade talk thing and used it as leverage, as a bunch of BS just to see who they can get or what they can fish out. But it's just it's definitely changed too, as to this trading up and just a lot of trades happening. So it gets real interesting, and that's why I just like to sit back and watch it, because you couldn't predict who people drafted when they didn't trade.
Right.
And now it's like it's pointless.
That's why
like
mock drafts are so hard, because you see them put in, well, this team traded this for this pick and this pick, and like, how do you even know that's going to happen? Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no way. I say the only mock drafts that could be somewhat legit is if you just go in order, don't consider trades, and take best player available or team need. You know what I mean? That's going to be your most accurate. But then once you start throwing trades in on draft day, you can call it,
Would you say
the first
arguably the best draft pick in NFL history would be Tom Brady?
Biggest bang for your buck.
They got that guy for nothing and got 6 championships out of that guy.
He's basically Mr. Irrelevant. You know what I mean? He was nobody. Fuck that guy. He's in the NFC South now again, and I can't get away from 28-3. So I hate him, but dude, you gotta respect the, can't hate the player, you gotta hate the game kind of thing,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is what it is. He's here, and he's still not going anywhere. I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm just glad he's out of the AFC.
What's funny
is gonna keep going.
What Braden was talking about earlier was like how, you could have a killer season, like, dude, Pat Mahomes, right? He went out and AFC championship or whatever. Then they're like, I don't know if he could do it again. Next year wins a Super Bowl. Then I don't know. Maybe he's going to have a 3-year slump, goes back to the Super Bowl. Look at Tom Brady. He won like 3 in like a 7-year span. And every year, he's getting old. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to do it. So it's always been a question. What's that?
Shout out Max Kellerman, biggest Tom Brady hater right now.
And I hate to rain on the party a little bit, but you got to give, because I went big on Tampa Bay. I really like Tampa Bay. And it wasn't because of Tom Brady. It was because of that organization and its defense. To this day, defense wins championships. Now, I know Patrick Mahomes kind of changed that narrative last year, and every once in a while you get an offensive team. But it really does, like we said before, it starts through the draft, go up to the GM, to the owner. It's how that organization is run. And that's why he went there, because you got Bruce Arians, who's a freaking genius, former Steelers coach. Arizona turned Kurt Warner's career back around and made him go to the Super Bowl again. It's little things like that, plus Tom Brady, that, look at what happened with Peyton Manning when he went to Denver with John Elway. When you put the right pieces together, you can make it work.
Well, dude, Tampa nailed defensive drafts. Nailed them, dude.
Yeah,
that's insane. You got Devin White, you got some player, and Ndamukong Suh's on that team now, and dude, they've been killing it on the defensive side, and that's how they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's about finding those players like AB, who I said the Steelers, they had to get rid of them, but I knew they were going to regret it. Same thing with Le'Veon Bell. I said it. Go back. It's probably on my Twitter. My friends will tell you. I said they're going to regret this, because and look at them. They were both in last year's Super Bowl. I know Le'Veon Bell didn't make much of an impact. I don't think he even touched the ball. But my point is, the players, those guys are drafted. Le'Veon Bell 2nd round, AB 4th round. These guys, you got to find the talent, and you got to have the organization that can key these guys in and make them want the championships. And that's what Belichick did well. It's to make guys want to win.
For God's sakes, their slogan is "Do your job." I mean, that's terrible. You know what I mean? But you can't hate on it.
Yeah, it wins championships, and that's what matters. So,
absolutely.
Do we want to go into draft picks? Do you guys want to break down the draft some more, just on a general note?
It don't matter to me. I got.
I think out of any quarterback right now that's in that draft, the only guy I see worth picking round 1 would be Lawrence, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jones, Mac Jones. I mean, he was a backup. He was a backup. I mean, he's not. Yeah, he had a stellar year, but he was backup to backup.
Look at the
Nick
players
Saban didn't even
around
want him
him.
to start. You think Bill Belichick's gonna want him to start? No.
So was Brady. Brady was a backup at Michigan.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. He's a backup.
Google it. Do the research. You're wrong.
Google it, Jamie.
You're wrong. Google it. No, I agree.
Ouch.
I agree. And the other one, I'm not even going to touch on Mac Jones. I'm an Alabama fan, but dude, Alabama hasn't put out a quarterback in years. Okay, it's the talent around them. They got 5-star recruits at every single position around the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, I really think he's a hit or miss for me. I don't know if I really didn't see this draft class as a heavy quarterback as much as the Pro Football Focus or whoever is telling you. Because Zach Wilson, who the hell was this guy up until like 6 weeks ago? You know what I mean? The 5 teams he played against. Oh, here we go. Did he start? Go back.
He started his junior and senior year, but dude, his freshman and sophomore year is a backup. It's not like he came in and was a stud on.
No, but he started.
Michigan.
He wasn't a backup and then went to that draft. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones didn't start any games. I thought he started last season.
He did.
He did. What do you mean?
It's because everyone was gone.
That's what I'm saying. That's what happened to Brady.
I will
it's
say
not
this.
the same, but
I'll say this about Mac Jones.
It's similar.
I'll say this one thing. I'll let Jordan continue. Mac Jones will never have a strong as receiving core as he did in college in the NFL.
Nope. They're all wide receiver ones getting heavy paydays.
So all I'm saying is whatever team he goes to, he's not going to have the same talent he did in college. So I don't know if that's going to translate over to the NFL. Because, I mean, who's going to pick him that's going to have good wide receivers for him? Nobody.
Yeah.
So just that little tidbit.
Where's Devontae Smith going? That's what I want to know. Is they going to the Falcons when they trade Julio?
No. No, I'll get to that. But no, I don't. I really see maybe Bengals. Bengals could take him. I really think the Bengals are going to go Jamar Chase or they're going Sewell, depending on what the Falcons pick. If Falcons don't pick Kyle Pitts, they're going to go Kyle Pitts because all 3 of those positions are major needs for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I can honestly see some wideouts dropping all the way down to Dallas, going to the Eagles. I really think that this year you're going to see a heavier amount of offensive players versus defensive players going, especially in the first round, dude. It's going to be insane. The one player I think is going to be interesting is the tackle out of Oregon, Sewell. He held out this last year for COVID. He didn't play. So you're going off, a year-old footage. Has he stayed in shape? Has he still been learning? Anytime you take a year off from something, you're going to get worse at it. I think he's a dog and he's going to go after it, but we'll have to see how it goes if it translates over to the NFL, which, that's again why I don't want the Falcons to take him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I have to say, I was watching PTI before the show and before our show, and they did Kevin Colbert, Steelers GM. He mentioned that if he had 2 equally good players and one held out and one didn't, he would definitely rather have the guy that didn't hold out for COVID played, based on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And who was another guy in the NFL agreed with him? I'm sure it was a GM. I can't remember, but that seems to be what's hovering around the GMs and how they're looking at it. And I agree. Yeah, when you take a year off like that, like you said, from anything, dude. I mean, you're just not gonna be the same. Yeah. I mean, it's just how it is. You can't.
But now's not the time entering the draft, and that's. Dude, I've played football, and half your deal is how much do you want it? How much of a fighter are you? You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing is, and like Kevin Colbert from the Steelers said, it was Jerry Jones, my bad. Jerry Jones said it, I think, best. Smart football mind, no matter how much you criticize the guy. But he said that those guys are missing about 700 snaps. And that's what matters. It doesn't matter how athletic you are. Like me, I've probably never been fitter in my life right now. And I can't kick a soccer ball with shit anymore. Like, it's just, I'm not the same because I haven't done that. You could be athletic, but you're not going to be the same when it comes to in-game situations and your athletic ability at a particular sport. I think it's key that you do get those reps in. I mean, it is essential. So that will play a big part in it, I believe.
Yeah, dude, just even take the whole, 1 year out, dude. You take 2 weeks off from the gym, you're dying. You know what I mean? And you're talking this guy, dude, he's a big dude, been in quarantine. You know what I mean? Who you really that will tell if this dude really does have a dog mentality and he's gonna go out there and do what he's supposed to do. But would I blow a top 5 pick on him? Nope.
I'd wait.
Nope.
I give it time. See what's going on.
I would go defense or like a generational talent. You know what I mean? If you're in there, if you're gonna spend that money, spend the pick, and you're already terrible, and you're looking for one piece to possibly help you, because nobody wants to go 8-8. Because now you're in the middle of the draft, and you didn't even make the playoffs, unless you're Dallas. So if you're trying to just make a splash real quick, and you're in those top picks, you're either gonna take the best player available, either defense on edge or linebacker, or you're gonna take a shot guy. You know what I mean? You're not going running back, but you're going to go wide out, tight end, something like that. If you're in rebuild mode, you're going to start from the top down, depending if you have the quarterback, and then you're going to move to left tackle. There's just a lot more, I don't want to say science, but there's methods to it to where some teams don't follow. And those are the teams that are perennially pretty bad.
Yeah.
100%.
I want to use an analogy for that. If you're a manager and you got to hire 2 people, you're going to take the guy who just got fresh out of school getting A+, or you're going to take the guy who's been doing it for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You want the guy that's doing it for 5 years.
You got the guys to, exactly. You want the experience.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how smart that kid is. I want the guy that knows what he's doing right off the jump.
Well, you can transition that smartness into just, athletic ability and staying fit. I think it really is key that you were on a football field doing the sport compared to
who's he doing one-on-ones with? Who's biggest he is doing one-on-ones? I don't see anybody.
Reps are key. That's why these guys get together in the off season. It's key because it's all about timing. That's what these couch potatoes don't understand, that the difference between us and them is timing. There's a reason that these pros that look bad out there are 100 times better than us, because they just have slightly less timing than the elite guys. It's all about timing.
No, it all comes down to mental. Everything. I mean, dude, to push your body to places you haven't is mental. To learn a playbook inside and out is mental. To show up to practice and OTAs and, Georgia Heat, Texas Heat, everywhere other than, San Diego. Dickheads. But they're not even there anymore. They're kind of LA. That really takes a lot of mental strength, and some guys have it. Unfortunately, a lot of guys don't, especially once they hit the NFL. If they're a first round pick, dude, look at Johnny Manziel. There's so many different players out there where either the money or their lack of being able to engage mentally into their profession, and it costs them everything.
Yep.
Fucking Johnny Manziel's on fan controlled football right now. They can't even get in the Canadian league. Like, dude, sometimes it goes to their head a little bit.
And I think, honestly, that's why he got picked so early in the draft, because he had a big name. He was a big name. He was a superstar. He brought in the crowd.
Johnny Football.
Would you rather have a guy who parties every night, shows up to practice hungover, doesn't give a crap about anything, or would you have a guy who's always in the film room, watching film, going to practice early, good in the extra reps, but you don't hear about him because he's not talking, he's not showboating, he's just,
he plays a different
clocks
position.
in, clocks out. So, I mean, I'd rather have that guy than the guy that's all flashy. Yeah, he's going to get you a couple or a couple tickets sold, but he ain't going to win you no championships.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I did want to ask you guys, because I know Hayden's freaking talking Justin Fields going to Pittsburgh, but what's actually really interesting about it, dude, I saw a mock draft earlier of him going 32nd to Tampa. Like, where does this come from? What do you guys think?
Late?
I mean, I saw a mock draft going 32nd. I'm like, I just cannot see that many teams with the epilepsy, anything, passing him that far.
I know what I've said, that it being a waste to pick a quarterback for the first round. but these guys are itching. They're itching for quarterback. I don't see him going that late to the Bucks. I just don't see it.
Dude, and that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, yes, like we just said about that. But like you said, these guys want to get out there and they want to prove themselves. I don't see I don't see it, dude. I don't even see him falling out of the top 10. There's too many. When you have teams who know that their starter is backup quality, they're not going to pass up on the opportunity of, hey, getting some fresh eyes, some fresh brain in here and trying to learn the system.
Yep.
I just thought it was insane, especially I think, what is it? 6 out of the 10 top teams need a quarterback or could use a quarterback.
Yep.
I just don't see him falling out of the top 10.
The Panthers sure need one. They just got rid of Teddy Bridgewater.
Right. Who else is their quarterback? I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you.
Right.
Jamie?
You know what I think plays well, I wouldn't say unfortunate. These organizations did it to themselves, but I think what plays a factor too in what the Steelers have done really well, there's a reason we've been good. And one of those reasons is because we've kept our coaches. Now, there hasn't been many hard times, but you look at some of these teams like the Jets. And what's that dude's name? He ended up going to Tampa, but something with a B, right?
Not the cokehead.
No, not Gase. Before Gase. They
fired
him after a
the
season.
African American guy.
Gino?
Yeah, the black dude.
He's the head coach of the Dolphins now.
Yeah, what was his name?
But he's a quarterback?
No, it's the head coach.
Some of the B. Jets old head coach, the guy who drafted Don.
Todd Bowles. Yeah.
Bowles, yep, Todd Bowles. Yeah, you have these organizations that take these head coaches and they have this pressure on to Todd Bowles to instantly win. And so I think, yeah, you're right. I knew it wasn't Todd Bowles. We'll
get it together, man.
But anyway, talk there by us. But
you call him
the cokehead. Yeah. He's the press conference doing. Yeah, we're gonna try to win this year. Any questions?
Adam Gase.
You know something we don't.
I'm goodness. Let me get back on track here. So Todd Bowles, I think these coaches and GMs now have this pressure. The Browns did the same thing. They fired their head coach after a season and a half. They don't let them build these teams, and so they feel pressured, I think, to pick a quarterback to win now because they got to go at least 8-8 or they're gone. And that's unfortunate. And I don't know why. I think it's these lazy owners who don't understand how to run teams. And they just want to win now because they know it makes money. Winning makes money. So what's the fastest way to do that? You're pushed into a situation where you need a quarterback because you're going to be terrible. Look at the 76ers. They did it right. The tanking thing. I don't know if it was done exactly right. But the point is you can't just freaking get rid of – I guess they got rid of head coaches, but it's kind of like the NHL. It's different in the NBA. Look at the NHL. The Capitals fired their head coach, Trotman, after he won the Stanley Cup, like 4 games into the next season. It's wild how that.
We fired our coach.
But in the NFL, it's proven. There you go. But it's different. Those.
Hey, but we kept ours for 5 years after the Super Bowl loss.
Hell yeah. Ride or die.
So. There you go. So you kind of contradicted me there. You gave an example that doesn't work, but I just think that the Todd Bowles pick is a prime example of where he knew he didn't have time. These guys just don't have time, so they're going to draft a quarterback. I think they're pressured into drafting quarterbacks because it's a win now league, and I just don't get how they don't see in the long run how that doesn't make sense and how we've been doing it the right way. Why not try to emulate or copy what we do or some of these other organizations that keep winning by keeping guys, getting guys in position so they can build. It's all about building, man. Like, how do you build when you don't have a foundation? You got to build on the foundation. As simple as that.
The way I see it is because I completely disagree with firing the coaches like early. It's so stupid to me because, they don't get, you can have the best play schemes. Like take Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Say what you got to say about him. He's up there. If his team didn't execute the plays he drew up, he probably would have been fired. And the way I think about it is why they fire the coaches so easily. Because you got to think about it, these owners are all businessmen. They got rich because they were businessmen. So how do they run their football team? Like a business. and say your business is doing horrible. You're not going to fire all your workers. You're not going to call your workers out, because then they're going to say, F you, I'm not playing for you, or F you, I'm not working for you. Like, hit the curb. They're going to go for the only guy that they can put blame on, that they can get rid of, and then bring someone else new in, which is either a manager or / coach, which it's a horrible thing to do, because you're putting all this pressure on these coaches going in to where they're all timid and scared, because hey, they don't want to make that, controversial play, because they're like, wait a second, if I don't make this, I might get fired next morning and I have to tell my kids, hey guys, we're moving different cities again. So it's like, you have to build a better relationship with your coaches. You can't just fire them after like a year and a half if they don't do well, because it's not up to them. It's up to the players. You can draw the best plays in the world. The players don't execute them. What are you supposed to do? You can't run the plays yourself.
Yeah. And you got to draft the right guys for your schemes. I mean, that's all there's to it. So you got to keep, no matter who you go with, I don't see how you don't keep them around for 4 or 5 years, even if they end up like the Falcons where they do bad. I think you got to ride it out until it kind of hits rock bottom.
Well, one other thing you guys were talking about too was like run like a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next to the team that won the Super Bowl the prior year, or the 2 teams that were in it, who else is featured most on primetime games? Top draft picks. You got, your top quarterback going out. So, and how do these teams get paid? Merchandise and TV money.
Yep.
So that could be another reason they're like, hey, we're going to go pick this top recruit, so this way we get more money this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it all works because the more they generate, the better the cap.
Tim Tebow is a good example of that.
Yeah.
So he's one of the Jets went and grabbed him because they wanted to put him on a poster and say, hey, guess who's on the Jets now? Tim Tebow. Come watch him play.
Yep.
Get me running in the rain here. That's what I need. Remember that?
Hey, but steering it back real quick. So we were talking about, Carolina and they're possibly going quarterback. One thing I didn't remember though is they actually picked up Sam Darnold, and they spent a little bit.
Right.
On
You're right.
So do they go quarterback? I don't know. Because, dude, Darnold's an athlete.
I just think it's a bad move. It's like the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. Like last year when they picked up a quarterback, when they could have picked up a wide receiver, he was looking around like, what are we doing, guys?
And then had arguably
you're picking my replacement.
Years of his life.
So if you're Sam Darnold and the Panthers pick a quarterback the first round, you're like, why am I here?
Yep.
It did work for. It worked for Aaron Rodgers as far as Brett Favre. Look at that.
In that case, yes, but it's like Aaron Rodgers. He's like, guys, I'm trying to win you a championship, and I can do that for you. I'm still in my good years, but you're picking players that aren't going to help me.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with that in a sense. I mean, I know it's not really like an argument, but like I think you got to draft what you think will better improve the team, and if that means
a quarterback riding a bench.
You get a quarterback that's riding the bench and learning, whether you get along like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers didn't. I think if the organization believes in that player and they want that player, they should get that player, because that's what comes first. And if Aaron Rodgers wants to cry about it, I mean, I'm sure you're not really crying, but what I'm saying.
I really think that.
Mm-hmm.
I get it from Aaron Rodgers' perspective, but I have to side with the teams here. You pick the guys you want that'll better make your organization for the now and the future.
I agree and disagree with both of you as far as dude, I get it. You want to get a quarterback on a rookie deal, take you to the Super Bowl. Great, right? But when you have a franchise guy like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and you draft a quarterback when they're still playing well, you're drawing a line in the sand, right? You're saying, all right, dude, you better show out or we're done. Because here's a problem with it. Aaron Rodgers had one of the better years of his career, right? And they didn't get him more weapons, but they got him a quarterback to sit behind him and learn. But do you think Aaron Rodgers isn't going to start next year? He's definitely going to start. So now you're burning
for sure
2 out of the 4 or 5 years on a rookie deal to have him ride a bench and learn a system that you never even know. Like you just said, the head coach with that scheme might not even be there when that guy takes over.
But it's the Packers. So you have faith that they're going to do it right like they did it before. And that's the thing. That's why I wouldn't mind if we got Justin Fields.
But
I know,
Ben. The Packers.
Now, personally, it's because we're better than the Packers. So, throw that out there, even though he lost the Super Bowl. Yeah, you can go throw that in the old comments. But no, I think let's say I don't think Justin Fields is going to fall to us, but I mean, even if you go back 2 or 3 years ago, I think we should have got a quarterback. And now look at us. We got Ben Roethlisberger, who I think is dude, we might go 7-9. I'm just going to come out and put the hot take out there now that, I mean, there's a reason his release time is way down. He's just not the same. The guy has gotten hit so much in his creases. He's got more wear and tear. Eli Manning's out. Phillip Rivers is now out. All those guys that were drafted then are out.
Neither of those other guys wrecked a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So he's got even more wear and tear.
He's got a problem with bathrooms.
You guys and the bathroom thing. I knew it was coming. The bathroom. It was 17 fucking years ago, dog.
I'm not mad.
You guys never let that.
That he's got a lot of wear and tear on him.
Hey,
and his face is like this.
That bathroom floor is hard, dog. It wears on the knees.
Super Bowl. 2 incidents, 2 Super Bowls. I want to hear your quarterbacks come up with those kind of numbers. They can't. Defense. So wrecking motorcycles and banging in bathrooms wins you Super Bowls. Write it down, kids. But no, I think you gotta. I don't think the organizations like the Packers or the Steelers are sending a message like some might, where they're drafting a guy and drawing the line. I mean, these veterans got to know the same thing that happened with Rodgers. That's why it kind of bothers me a little bit. It's like, dude, you did the same thing happened with you. Like, how can you get mad? Like, it's just maybe there's a lot of conflict there, and he's been in the situation, so the situation probably wasn't good for Brett Favre, and so he understands that more than most people. But you got to look at it for the future. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And you say that they're wasting a pick. You're not going to get the Russell Wilson situation but I just think the Packers have a good enough team that if you really like a quarterback, you go out and get that quarterback, because you can have them sitting there and then a couple of years later, he comes out and wins you Super Bowl like Aaron Rodgers.
But see, here's the problem, though. Once you do that, now let's say he's sitting behind Aaron Rodgers all of next year, and then Aaron Rodgers says, "Hey, I'm retiring." Okay, now you got this dude. I forget, what is it, Jordan Love, right? Who they drafted. Now he only has 2 years left on his rookie deal. The first year you can almost, unless you got a guy like Pat Mahomes, which is very freaking rare, you could write that first season off him as a first-time starter. The second year, let's say he goes and wins you a Super Bowl. Let's just say it happens. But now he's going to demand top-tier money. Right now, do you move on from him? Do you pay him? Do you draft a different quarterback? So really, I think the max I would like to see a quarterback sitting a top-tier Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields guys is 1 year. 1 year, if you know your team's going to be bad, a 7-9 Steelers, and hey, you know what? Halfway through the season, we're 3-6. Let's put the rookie in. Let's see what he's got. That's the kind of quarterback deal I like on a rookie deal. Not one, let's sit him for 2 years and hope for the best on year 3. I just don't see the payoff in it on a top tier guy when you could have had a weapon for 2 years, get you 2 championships potentially.
Yeah, it works for Russell Wilson and how you're explaining it, but I think it worked for the Packers too. I think it works both ways. I think my thing is, if you like the guy, if he's Russell Wilson-esque, Aaron Rodgers-esque, it doesn't matter. If it's a quarterback you think that's going to win you a championship, I think that's. If you think
he's going to win you a championship, that's a bold statement. You need to make him play. But if you have a guy that's a caliber of Aaron Rodgers and just had the year that Aaron Rodgers had, Big Ben started off 10-0. Would you go start a rookie after him after he started declining at the end of the season?
Oh, no. I think you got to really ride a quarterback out. I think some of these teams, I think they threw out Baker. I don't know. I don't think Baker's that good. I think they threw him out there a little too soon. I think they should sit a year. I think it depends on the quarterback too.
Dude, I mean, unless they're super smart, when they do their draft reports and their scouting reports, they'll tell you if the guy's intelligent and if they're going to be able to learn a playbook that quick.
Like Luck could just start day one. I mean, and he basically did. No, I mean, when you got a guy like that, you don't need to sit him. I mean, that's all there is to it.
With Aaron Rodgers, it's not the same.
But you don't want to sit there if you think Love is your top guy. You just miss Love because you think you can get 2 or 3 years out of him. Just like you thought you could get 2 or 3 years out of Brett Favre. How many Super Bowls did he win? None. How many did Aaron Rodgers win? You won because they took that chance. They got the guy when maybe it was a little too soon per se, but if he's your guy and he's the guy you want, you go out and you get him. I think that's, you want to live and die on the sort of your quarterback, because that's, unless, I mean, who was the Ravens quarterback that won a Super Bowl?
No,
Trent Dilfer.
Flacco.
That's like the
Flacco.
No, well, I'd like to put him in the same category, but
No,
Joe Flacco
Flacco's
was good that year.
Flacco's doo-doo.
But he's doo-doo now, but he was all
Ravens
right. The debate was all the Ravens defense is good. I'm a Steelers fan, guys, so I'm gonna get more flack for this than anything. But dad joke. But you can come up and you can fall hard. But my point is, you have to have a decent quarterback to get anywhere, I think, for the most part. I think Peyton Manning in his year with Denver, they got away with one. And then back in 2003, I believe it was, with Baltimore, one with Trent Dilfer. I think that's the only time where you saw where there wasn't really a quarterback at all, and you won a Super Bowl. Other than that, you got to have a pretty good quarterback. So even if he's not Aaron Rodgers and he's not Russell Wilson, if he's good enough, like Jimmy Garoppolo, it's probably not a good example because he wasn't a high pick, right?
What makes it even worse is I think Green Bay traded back into the first to get him. So, and then you're going to sit him. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense for that team.
Short term, it doesn't make sense, but you are a Falcons fan.
Hey, man.
So,
my perspective on it would be what was the situation when Green Bay drafted Aaron Rodgers? It was like Brett Favre and like the tail end of his career. So they already had a good wide receiving core. They were kind of declining as a team. So like, hey, maybe this is the time that we pick a young guy to get Brett Favre, some mentoring. So think about it, when they picked up that guy last year, the Packers have been a pretty good team, majority of the time Aaron Rodgers has been there. I mean, they've been a top contender. They make playoffs almost. I mean, don't hold me on this. They make it, I think, almost every year. So at that point, you're like Aaron Rodgers. You're like, I need that one small key that's going to push me over that line. That's going to get me some other Super Bowl.
Well, and I think
need someone to throw to other than what's the guy's name? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Adams, Devontae Adams.
I need someone else rather than him.
Yeah. Well, and then, I think when he drafted him, Matt LaFleur, he was their first year head coach after Mike McCarthy. And I think that was the year that Aaron Rodgers was coming off a ACL injury or an Achilles injury. And I think they didn't make the playoffs that year. So who knows if they were looking to say, hey, maybe he doesn't bounce back. And if we start off, 1-5 or 2-4, do we throw the younger guy in and see what happens? But I think that Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers were bumping heads a little bit because everybody knows Aaron Rodgers can be a diva. But then I think Aaron Rodgers figured out that Matt LaFleur had some magic happening in the playbook, and he got on board, and they went right back to the championship again.
They're on a tear before they met the Bucs.
Yeah, and the Bucs really were just okay up until about week 10, week 11.
Yeah, just like Mike Stiebrits. Mike Stiebrits always says you got to get hot at the right time.
Yep, that's what happened when we went to the Super Bowl.
That's true. Tampa Bay people were questioning who would be worse, Belichick or Brady, based on their early.
So in that first game when they played the Saints, they spanked them, really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like the year we went 28-3. We were 7-5, and then we won against 4 crap teams, and went to the big show, and the history.
Yep.
Lost me a lot of money there. Thanks, guys.
I know.
But I think I lost my train of thought here. Just escaped me. I don't even know what the hell I was gonna say. Anyway, let's transition that into
props.
Some props. Our draft specialist Jordan here. We'll see. You made these props. What day did we go through these? You kind of skimmed through them.
Yeah, I think we were just chopping it up a few days ago, right? A couple days ago.
Yeah, it was a few days ago. So I don't know. I'm not. I actually did do really well on my draft props last year. That Taylor running back or whatever getting drafted in the first round. I think I got plus 300. I did a little bit of research and did well. but I would not call myself. I wouldn't say I got lucky because I did the research and did the work, but I definitely don't know as much as this guy. So we're gonna go in and go over the picks here. Now you mentioned this earlier. You think it's gonna be an offensive heavy. I'm bringing up these odds, by the way. Offensive heavy draft year. And it looks like from a few days ago, Braden's going to update us here on the odds. You got offensive players in the first rounds, and write down when we do these picks. Offensive players in the first round over 18.5 at -120. Now, you already basically said it. More offense than defense, which is unusual.
Usually,
right?
I mean, like I said earlier, teams are looking for either a defensive playmaker who's going to make an instant impact on an edge or a linebacker, possibly a safety. But this year, I think that the offensive talent, at least for the first round, is way too high for teams to pass up on. Some teams could go either way, but I don't think it's going to be, there's 32 teams. I don't think it's going to be 25 offensive players. It's going to be 18 to 22, somewhere in that area. Maybe about 17. I still think that you just look at the first 4 picks alone, 5 picks really. Those are definitely going offense. If that makes sense.
Okay. All right. And then your boy Pitts. You like him to be the first pick, right?
No. He's not going first. Trevor Lawrence is going first. He will be the first non-quarterback taken. I think so.
Did I write this down wrong? It's only +110. Did I screw this up? You have a no way. He could be the first pick because it's Pitts under 5.5 -175. You like that?
The Falcons, great for me, hold the gates or the keys to this gate in this draft. If they could trade back, they could take a quarterback, they could take Pitts, they could go defense. There's so many different opportunities that they have that they need. I mean, dude, I think they had like 36 people signed to the roster. You know what I mean? There's so many positions that they need. So that also would justify a trade back because you need more money to pay more people. I don't think they take quarterback. Mm-hmm. The only reason I think they're throwing out the Julio Jones trade talk is if somebody bites on it and they give them the high price that they want, then they'll do it. To free up some cap space to potentially take a draft pick. To take a quarterback at the number 4. But without moving Julio, you just don't have the space to pay a quarterback at number 4. You do have the space to pay a tight end, possibly. There'll have to be some restructures. So I really think that Pitts could go. I don't even see him going to number 6. I think the Bengals would take him. They got rid of who was it? AJ Green, right? He's gone. The only other person, I mean, it's a toss up, but Sewell, the tackle, but I'm hoping some people will think the same as we think that, you take a year off, you're going to hurt a little bit. So I really see Pitts going 5, 4th or 5th, really.
4th or 5th. All right. And Justin Fields, speaking of top 5,
I think he's going to San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for us. I know the offense. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. You got guys on that team on decent contracts. Deebo Samuel. What's the running back's name? I forget. And they're looking to move on from Jimmy G. I think Justin Fields gives you the RPO option much better than Mac Jones does. I don't see Kyle Shanahan going away from a playmaker. I see him putting the smoke screen up saying, hey, we're taking Mac Jones. We're taking Mac Jones to get everybody away from him. I see Justin Fields going number 3.
All right. Justin Fields, number 3. And then we have Jamar Chase over 6.5.
Yeah, this is
I think he's gonna go.
That's one of those ones, dude, that's a little bit weird. It depends on the first 2 picks what Atlanta takes. Cincinnati needs they need a wideout. They're kind of in the same boat as Atlanta, so they kind of have the pickings. They could go wideout, and then you said plus 6.5. Miami needs a wideout. Detroit could use a wideout. Carolina could use. I mean, dude, he's definitely gonna go, and he's next to Devontae Smith. I think his name is. Those two will definitely be in top 10 easily.
But you think he's going to go over the 6, but you think he's going to get picked 7th or later?
He could go 6 too.
Okay.
That's why I said that's a hard one. That's it.
Yeah. But at plus 200, you think we're getting value if he goes 7 or so. Yeah. Okay. Then last but not least, the first running back. Yeah, there it is. Running back, who I think another pick. If Fields for some reason doesn't go to the Steelers, you might as well get a double prop in here, which I know that doesn't exist. Well, maybe it does. Who knows? But Najee Harris minus 150. What did I say?
Najee Harris.
Did I say his name wrong? Najee Harris. My bad. Minus 150. First running back picked overall. Now minus 150. Who do you think he's going to, and who do you think the competition is? Who's the other possible first pick, and why do you have him at first?
He comes from Alabama. Alabama. I mean, Derrick Henry. I mean, let's just go down the list of Alabama running backs that do well in the NFL. It's hard to say. Philly could use a running back. But the other competition I really like is the kid out of Clemson, Etienne. I think his name is Travis Etienne. And then you got 2 backs out of North Carolina that are studs. They could go too. But I think he carries the big Crimson A, and that's going to push him to go first.
To be that first pick. All right. I love it. Braden, do you have anything to follow up with on our picks here? I'll be following all those picks. They're off.
Pro football one, right?
Wait. It would be futures props. It should be under there. If not, these odds should be around the same. You know, they shouldn't have moved too much. Mm-hmm. Either way, they're out there. Take them for whatever value you get them.
Yeah, there hasn't been many trades or anything lately, so I wouldn't imagine them changing. Yeah.
Changing too much, and so we're good there. Anything else before we? I do have a boxing pick I'd like to give out real quick.
Want to give out a boxing pick?
You got a boxing match this Friday. I know you boys were watching me do a little research today on our boy Angelica from the Rugrats.
We don't watch videos at work,
We're actually that's actually a 3-unit play. That's my biggest play from tonight or our first show. We have the PFL tomorrow. I gave out my picks earlier, and then this boxing is early in London Friday morning. And I actually like our boy here, Sonny Edwards is his name. The man with the pigtails. Yep, out of England, fighting out of England. I think he's an excellent boxer. 25 years old. His defense is very. Look at that picture. It's very good. I wonder what it is, Doug.
Subtle flex.
It's very good. He's very elusive defense. He's a, I guess you could say rare. I know Bud Crawford does it the best. Switch stance fighter. Like I said, don't let those pigtails fool you. He doesn't have power, but he is an excellent boxer, and he goes against my boy. I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Coming out of Africa, Maruti Mithalini. I'm going to call him Mithalini. I know that is wrong. I do apologize.
I do one of these when you say it. You do one of these when you say it.
Mithalini.
There it is.
He'll be defending. I got something I gotta tell you off camera. He's defending his flyweight title at the 216 weight cut. 216 weight. He's 38 years old. Now don't let that fool you. This fool, I don't know. These African fighters, man, it's hard to get anything on him. He fights over in Japan. I watched a couple of his fights. Dude hits like a mother, dude. He hits hard as hell. His cardio and speed are still there, even though he's 38, which is pretty old, especially at that division, where speed and quickness is everything. He still looks good. He's got a strong left hook to the body, but I think it plays perfectly in the Sunny, there it is. Sunny advertisement. They'll do it to get it in.
Hey, I got a question real quick. Did you say he's 216?
What did I say? You're right. They're not 216. They are
like 4 foot nothing.
I do apologize. He's at 5'3", I believe. Let me see. Pigtails is 5'3", and our boy from Africa is 5'3.5". Yeah, they are pretty short, so they are not 216. They are 116 pounds, as I told Braden. The most organized person I know is myself. These guys train together, which I think in a lot of these fights, it definitely benefits the better boxer, which I think Sonny Edwards is a much better boxer. I don't think he's the only reason we're going with 3 units on this one, still a pretty big play, as I am a little worried that he's never faced anybody like
the heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter. The dude hits hard. He's got how many knockouts, man? He's 26 out of 39 fights at flyweight. You don't see a lot of knockouts. I think you got a couple guys in there knock out a couple cupcakes, but this guy is the real deal. But I just think Edwards is too elusive, and I think the key is his side movement, and he'll outpoint Mithelany to a good decision win. So you're not going to get much value in the decision. So just take Edwards. Jesus, if freaking you get another ankle situation again, you're going to be kicking yourself if you save 5 cents, made an extra 5 cents. So just take Sonny Edwards to win at plus. Did I even get him at 130? I might have got him at 130, 125, somewhere in that range. And I think that's our best play in the next 2 days. I will be. Well, we might as well go into. Do you guys got anything else to say before we do a little sneak peek into our next episode?
Nope. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Of course, dog.
Of course. Anytime. We will definitely have you back.
I'm gonna wear
anything else
next time.
No, I think we covered everything from NFL. We covered UFC 261 pretty well. PFL, I think we did everything pretty well.
I think we hit it. Yeah, we did. We had a good show here, but we do want to give a little sneak peek into our next episode, which will be dropping this week. That's right. Two episodes this week. There wasn't enough to fit in the one, as you see. I'm sure. I mean, what are we looking at time-wise? It's an hour and a half already. Man, I mean, there's just too much going on. It's a big week because you got, UFC fight night. Not a lot of names on that card. But I really like it. You got Reyes versus another name I'm going to butcher, which you think I would know because I am Serbian or Slovakian or something like that. It's Dominic Reyes versus hold on.
Put it together.
Yuri Prozaka or something like that. Prozaka. They'll be fighting. You got Cub Swanson, not Gigi Chica Daisy, but Giaya. A lot of names that one I can't even pronounce. Guys I do know. These are Ion Kudalaba.
No, you were struggling.
Dude. I think European. I would get the European ones right, but no, obviously not. Not a lot of names, but I think you do want to watch this UFC card. Sean Strickland versus Jocko. I think Strickland's going to get the knockout here. A little sneak peek into my picks. You got Marab Dalavelush. I don't think it's Italian. He's definitely not Italian. Versus Cody Stamann. And the prelims, you're getting a lot of names I've never even heard of, but from watching the film so far, you're going to get a lot of good fights. This is one if you do have the time to tune into. But I think a bigger deal this week is going to be the boxing for sure. You got Andy Ruiz, our Snickers boy coming back, lost 30 pounds, and you'll be fighting Chris, I call him Areola. Areola. He's gonna be fighting the veteran here. I haven't looked into it yet. Andrew Ruiz should get it done though. And then you have a pretty even fight here with Omar Figueroa Jr. versus Abel Ramos on that card. That is a pay-per-view. Sebastian Fendora, another guy that you want to watch. That's a really good card. Again, it's on pay-per-view, but you would want to tune into that. Erslandy Lara versus Thomas Lamena. Laura, another good fighter that'll be on Fox National TV there. That's another good one. And then a really exciting one and a really good card on DAZN, especially in the morning. Another UK early morning Saturday. You're going to get the 3-unit play Friday. Early Saturday, Derek Charosa versus Joseph Parker, heavyweight banger. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get a pick in for this, do my research. It's going to be a fun one. Katie Taylor, they say she's next to Clarissa Shields. She's fighting Dimitri Bivol, another top guy out there. And Chris Eubank Jr., I'm pretty sure he's kind of done with fighting. I think I heard or something like that. His father, Chris Eubank, a very, very good fighter. But Chris Eubank Jr. is the fourth fight on a card on DAZN. So if you have DAZN, that is a sneaky one you want to tune in for. And if you're like me and you just love Eddie Hearn, you're going to tune in anyway. So that's another one. And then last but not least, I'm going to attempt this. Kentucky Derby, baby. Kentucky Derby is back this Saturday. I haven't worked on it yet. This is why we're having another show right here. I got 7 pages. We're doing all the research. It's going to be great. Central Quality coming in as the big favorite. The jockey, if you remember a couple of years ago, I know you guys probably remember this, 2019 when you had the disqualification.
Yeah.
Do you remember that in the Kentucky Derby? The guy cut in front of him and got disqualified. He is on Essential Quality. He'll be riding the favorite horse. They think this is a big redemption spot.
Okay.
You get some interesting storylines coming into these races, but I love this one. This is probably the best one in years. This isn't my pick, but it's just fun. This is part of horse racing. I know you guys are. I don't know, Jordan. You follow horse racing? No, I know no. Braden doesn't. But they dive deep into these stories and things like that, and I really, really, really like this one. His brother Tapreet won in 2014. He won the Belmont Stakes. He drew the 14th spot, which is a solid spot for him. And like I said, Luis Saez, I'm butchering these names. That's what happens in Cumberland, Western Pennsylvania. I know how to say pierogies and hamburgers. Like I said, he was the jockey there. And the next favorite drew a terrible spot. He drew the first pole that's known agenda. So, if I'm looking at some movement, one thing I want to touch on and look out for is the dynamic one went from 30-1 to 18-1. That's a horse I'll be looking at to see why he moved there. I haven't had the time to delve in deep, but obviously I will on our next show and give out the Kentucky Derby picks because boy, am I excited for that. And that, by the way, that race, if you just want to tune in for the race, that will be 3:57 p.m. Pacific time, 6:57 Eastern. That is when they will be posting. So if you're just trying to tune in for the race, and trying to miss all the other shenanigans, now I'll probably have some picks for the earlier horse races too. I'll just give out some picks. I won't dive too deep into those, but I'm sure I'll have some plays there. We will be coming with that here soon.
And I'll wrap it up with thank you, Jordan, for joining us on the NFL draft recap. Love all the continued support we've been getting. We got 9 subscribers, which doesn't seem like a lot now, but hey, it's 9 people willing to want to watch us. And if you take time out of your day to listen to us talk, shoot the shit, especially Hayden, we appreciate everything you guys do, all the likes, everything. Comment down below what you guys think, what's going to happen in the NFL draft, what you think, who's going to go first. If you agree with any of the prop bets we talked about, let us know. And like Hayden was saying, you'll see us again on Saturday. We're going to drop another show. And we hope you guys continue to like it. And, you know, that's going to wrap up episode 3 of the What's Happening podcast. And, you know, we'd love to see you soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Take care, gentlemen.
See you later, guys.
Peace. All right. Recording is